How's it going, guys? Trader Neil here, back at you with another crypto video. So today we're gonna be taking a look at Bitcoin and a couple of altcoins. After that pretty substantial pump we've had on Bitcoin this past week, especially overnight, seeing Bitcoin rise above 90K. Just wanted to go over my thoughts about the market, where I see things potentially going, and what I think you should be doing right now in preparation for the next move. But before I get started, guys, I would very much appreciate it if you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel at Trader Neil here, and of course hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. You know, guys, I've been doing these videos for over a year now, and you guys have been great. I love the support out there, guys, and I love the interest in the crypto space. Honestly, guys, we need to keep pushing that. Keep pushing the interest in Bitcoin, keep pushing it in altcoins, and keep people wanting to trade these assets alongside us. Because honestly, guys, you know, capital is finite. And so whenever it comes to these assets, whenever it comes to crypto as a whole, spreading the word and, you know, getting people interested in the space, getting people excited and want to build in the space is what promotes the longevity of something like this for the future. So in my opinion, it's definitely important to pass the good word of crypto along wherever you can. All right, so after that sermon, let's talk a little bit about some charts, guys. Pretty insane to see Bitcoin rise to the levels it has today. Bitcoin is literally sitting at $91,000 today, guys. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. If I go to the 2-day chart, I mean, this to me tells you all that you need to know. We talked about the weekly 50 moving average here, guys. The simple moving average here on the weekly. And remember how I stressed to you guys how the 50 simple moving average is literally the MA to be watching for, to tell us if we are in a bull market or in a bear market or not. And I kept saying, you know, you've got to be looking at that 50 simple moving average to give you an idea of where price action is going and what we are really seeing across the markets. And so far, guys, you see how that 50 simple moving average got tapped, and ever since that's gotten tapped, we've had a 20% move back up on BTC. That is absolutely fantastic, guys. I love to see it. And honestly, just looking at the charts here, like Bitcoin, every single time, like I've spoken about in the past here, back in the previous bull market, back over the summer, every time we've got to bounce off that 50 moving average, prices ended up going higher over time. Could we come down to retest the 50 simple moving average sitting around 78K right now? Of course we could. We've even got a weekly level there right at 78,318 to keep in mind. But for now, guys, things are looking quite good, especially for Bitcoin on the chart. So if you also look, we had some 2-day bullish divergence. What is bullish divergence for my newbies out there? Well, if you're looking at the chart, you have lows on Bitcoin coming in on the 6th of March here at 80K, and then you've got lower lows in terms of candle closes at 76K. And so you've seen that lower low form here on the Bitcoin chart. But if you look at the RSI here, guys, you have higher lows on the RSI. So whenever you have a situation like this where you form lower lows on the chart and higher lows on the RSI, and then these bars are between 14 ticks, you have the potential for bullish divergence to form. And that's what we got on the chart here, guys. And this has played out pretty fantastically. Like I said, from the lows, BTC's up 20%. And honestly, it's time to be looking at this entire range as a whole, in my opinion. I think the best thing you can do is take a volume pull here from really, like, let's say the highs of the range as well as the beginnings of the range here too, to give you an idea of where the liquidity is in this zone. What this is telling me, based strictly off this volume pull, is that buyers were able to push price finally out of this zone between 84 and 86K, guys. That's pretty nice. And closing the daily yesterday above that level gave buyers the confidence to literally push price even higher. And I mean, you can see, guys, you do have a volume, let's say like a volume lag here, you could say. This entire area, you don't have a whole lot of price action. Pretty much anywhere under your value area high and point of control here, you don't have a lot of price action. And so what this tells me, guys, is a likelihood you see higher prices is still there on BTC. Couple areas of interest that I'm looking at: 94K and 96.5. I would honestly be very surprised, guys, if we don't see $94,000 on BTC within the next couple days. I really do think that that level, as well as 96.5, probably get tapped within the next couple days, at least 94K. And so keep that in mind. This isn't an area that I would personally be looking to short, but at the same time, would I be looking to take fresh longs here? Maybe on an intraday pullback. And so if you look at BTC, say for example, on the 4-hour chart here, you do have some pretty strong volume candles to the upside. And at the moment, I think that probably the best course of action is to at least wait for BTC to come and retap this hourly or 4-hour trend here. For me personally, I'd be more interested in seeing Bitcoin tap the hourly trend here somewhere around this level at around 88 to 89K. If we ended up seeing a pullback on BTC about there, that'd be an area I'd be looking along to that 94K level. Locally, though, would I be chasing here? Personally, not. I do think chasing here is probably going to be more of a recipe for disaster, because you're probably going to get stopped out before you get the real move up. And so for now on BTC, I am in longs from lower, from this range down here, but I'm not taking anything fresh. And I'm not taking any shorts personally, guys. There is one area that I would be looking personally for shorts. If you take a fib pull from your all-time high to your lows here on BTC at 74K, I see a lot of confluence at this golden pocket. You've got this value area high, you've got the point of control here, guys. And like I mentioned, I think you cut through this daily and end up at that 96K level. And so personally, if I were looking to go short, it would be somewhere around there on BTC. I'm not going to recommend anyone set any limit orders there right now. The thing with it, guys, is I'm in a couple of Discord servers where I give calls. Top Tier Signals is one of them. You guys can find them in the link tree in the description below. It's a free Discord where I actually post all my calls in. But I won't be setting limits for a short here. If you guys are interested in taking the short, though, I probably will tell everyone what I'm doing if price does get to these levels. And if Top Tier Signals, Unity Academy, those Discord servers you'll find in my link tree, those are going to be the places where you're going to find if I'm going to take this once price action makes its way up here. And so keep that in mind. But for now, guys, things are looking good on Bitcoin. I can't lie. Price action has been really strong here, and I am personally going to be waiting to see what happens. Let's look at a couple other things, guys. And so now that we looked at Bitcoin, I think it's time we start looking at a couple of different things that have to do with altcoins. First off, I know I've spoken about this before. The Altseason index here, guys, we are still currently in Bitcoin season. But the thing is, and that gets me really interested here, is I honestly think we are spending and have spent a pretty fair amount of time at these lows around Bitcoin season, where I do think altcoins are going to start to have their move pretty soon. Just like you saw back here, November of 2024, December 2024, I do think this is the time to be looking to accumulate altcoins and to be able to buy alts, because I really do think you get a push back up to altcoin season within the next couple of months. And of course, honestly, guys, whenever you get to this altcoin season area, this is where I'd be looking to sell my alts. I'm not looking to sell my alts during Bitcoin season. I'm looking to sell them during alt season. So keep that in mind. And then the crypto fear and greed index, something we need to talk about every once in a while. This thing has had a nice bounce here. up to the 38 level. And so we spent a lot of time in like the lowest fear regions of this chart ever since its inception back here in 2023. And so honestly, it makes a lot of sense that we've had a bounce here. This has coincided pretty well with Bitcoin's price action too. But overall, yeah, there's a lot of fear in the market, but that is starting to dissipate. All right, guys. Next coin we're going to be looking at is Ethereum. So first, we're going to be looking at Ethereum here on the daily. Real quick though, guys, I got a quick word from my sponsors. All right, guys, so we're going to be talking about my sponsor, Breakout Prop Firm, really quick, guys. Are you someone in crypto that has had a lack of liquidity? You're seeing all these P&Ls posted on Twitter. Your friends are flexing their P&Ls. They're flexing their dollar P&Ls. And you just want to get into that game and you want to be flexing your own P&Ls. Well, fear no more. Breakout Prop Firm is going to be that prop firm that will help you do exactly that. Because with Breakout, guys, this is essentially your way of playing with someone else's money. In fact, for just $800 with a one-step evaluation, you can potentially start trading with up to $100,000 of an account size here, guys. With $100K, you could be trading big money with only putting up small risk here, guys. And in my opinion, that is the best thing you can be doing. All you have to do with buying the evaluation is past the 10K account goal, or if you get any of the smaller accounts past those account goals, all you have to do is trade to that amount. Boom, you hit that amount and bam, you get $100,000 of money to play with, and then you can have that money to be able to trade anytime. All you have to do is follow the max daily loss and max drawdown parameters, but you can trade up to 5x leverage, guys. They have tons of coins on their exchange. As you guys can see, they've got Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, and they've got tons of altcoins. They list altcoins pretty much the day that they come out. And so if you guys want to trade with up to $100,000 of someone else's money and be able to trade those altcoins we'll be talking about in the rest of the video today, definitely check out Breakout Prop Firm. Here's the URL, and then use my code in the top right here to be able to get a nice discount on your evaluation. Definitely worth it, and then let me know how you guys like Breakout in the comment section below. All right, guys, back to the video. So looking at Ethereum here, of course, Ethereum is in a way worse position than Bitcoin is, guys. If you compare the two charts, it is nothing close. Ethereum is way off its all-time highs here from 2021, and it's way off its highs, honestly, from December. I don't have to be the one to tell you guys that the reason you're seeing that is based pretty much solely off of what is happening on Ethereum Bitcoin here. This is literally looking like a upside down parabola. Oops. Let me flip that. This parabola here on ETH BTC is literally the reason why this thing is dying, why Ethereum is dying. But honestly, on ETH BTC, guys, we are coming onto some higher time frame support from 2019 into 2020. So honestly, I would not be surprised to see this thing get at least somewhat of a bounce. I would be looking at least 0.028 for a bounce. And what would happen for Ethereum if that happens is I think you get a little bit of a rally on ETH. I would not be surprised, guys, to see Ethereum at least come back up to 2122 or so. As you guys can see, this is pretty higher time frame support and resistance. This was your area where you had your lows of last summer, and it's also where your highs were capped back in 2023. And so what I would be expecting is something like this, a move back up soon to 2137, and then I would not be even one bit surprised to see Ethereum come back down. And then this would be like your make or break point, because if you had a higher low form, then I think you could see a grind up again on Ethereum. But if not, maybe that would just be another place for your lower high. But honestly, guys, I would be expecting a bit of a bounce on Ethereum, and this is pretty much the area where I'd be thinking that's going to happen. And so Ethereum, not much to say besides bounce soon, in my opinion, and then we'll see what happens once we get up to about $2,000 up to 2122. All right, next thing we're going to be looking at Solana here, guys. So I know a lot of you guys like Solana here. Solana is a coin that I'm a fan of in terms of trading, especially. And this thing, is starting to look not too bad, guys. The reason I say that is because here on Sol, you actually put in your first weekly higher high, honestly, ever since this high back in January of 2025. And so seeing Solana break a weekly higher high here, I think that looks pretty damn good. And where I'd be looking next for Sol is at this 150 to 158 level. Let me go ahead and pull this on the daily now. So looking at Sol here on the daily, if I take a volume pull here from beginnings of this range to current price, let me take that just a little bit further back. I would be looking for some higher prices here on Sol. You have a lot of confluence at this 159 region. As you guys can see in the past, you've had rejections there more times than I can count, circling all these times in the past, and then your final SR flip there. Like, so many rejections at that 160 level. So at this point on Sol, with this daily SR flip, guys, I would not be one bit surprised to see this come up at some point to tap 159. You have a daily level of support right here on Sol at 126, and if you got that level, if this level was tapped, if Sol came down here, I would be looking to take a long there. But for now on Solana, I would be eyeing this 159 level as your next resistance, and I do think price probably pushes up and retest that soon at some point, especially after that weekly close, and especially after Sol getting a nice daily SR flip. I would be looking for higher prices. All right, guys, let me pull up a different Farcoin chart actually. Yeah, guys, this thing, absolutely insanity here. Let me go ahead and make this non-logarithmic. Looks a little better like this. Fartcoin is one of the best looking charts in crypto, guys. One of the best looking charts out there. Honestly, this is one of the coins that I'm most proud of that I've given to the Discords the past couple months. We got in on spot on Fartcoin back here at about 4.4. We're 100% up right now, and this thing is on a rampage. You have a daily level here on Fartcoin that just got front ran at 1.13. This is an area where I would be looking for potential rejection, but in terms of resistance on the higher time frames, you have higher time frame resistance and a daily level coming in between 1.29 and 1.33 there. And then let's take a golden pocket fib pull as well from your highs to your low here. That's coming in way higher, but at the same time, would I be looking to take a short here at around 1.13 on Fartcoin? Probably not. I would honestly be looking between 1.29 and 1.33 next for a short. So somewhere between this region. And with this being really like one of the strongest charts in crypto, guys, coming up to these levels, that's where I'd be looking to potentially short. But if the market is looking strong, guys, this isn't a coin you want to fade. This has been pretty much like the parabola in the coin to front run the entire move back up on across most crypto markets. So I would really be looking at this one to continue up as long as people are wanting to be more risk on in the markets. You don't have any bearish divergence here yet on the daily. You have the potential of it forming if Farcoin rejects, because currently you do technically have a lower high on the RSI. This is still turned up though, so this, as long as Farcoin keeps pumping, this thing can at least come and make another high. Not super worried about it until you start to see rejection. And so let's see what happens. If this thing comes up to our daily level of resistance and you start to see this curl down on the RSI, then that would be a good confluence to help you take a short. But for now, I do think this thing has still got some juice left in it. All right, let's pivot really quick to total market caps, because I don't really talk about this one a whole lot, guys, but I do think it's pretty relevant in terms of what's going on with the markets right now. Total market caps came to retest our previous all-time highs from last March, and even not only that, it came to retest our previous like consolidation region from last October too, before this pump, which I honestly really like. This thing has come down to retest some important support and has had a great bounce off of that region. This thing is flipping daily trend back bullish, and it's breaking out of the supply line here. So honestly, on total market cap, I do think this one still has a little ways to go. Your RSI is looking pretty good here, and so at least coming up to your last big SR region up here from last early this year to late last year during our all-time high period on coins, I would be looking for price action to potentially come to these levels next. Now, when you start talking about total 2 and total 3, that's when things start to change, guys. Total 2 looks the worst out of all of them. I'm sure you guys can guess why. For those of you that don't know, it's Ethereum. So total 2 is the total market cap for all cryptos besides Bitcoin, but it does include Ethereum, and Ethereum is bogging this thing down, guys. It is bogging it down hard. This thing has come up to its higher time frame support and resistance region from last summer, but man, like overall, this chart looks significantly worse than total 1. You technically are still uptrending here. I will give it to total 2. Like, this thing does have an uptrend from 2023, so technically your, let's say, like bull market scenario is still possible here on total 2. But as you guys can see, compared to total 1, total 2 looks like crap. So I just wanted to put that out there. On the other hand, total 3 to me does look better. So if you take Ethereum out of the equation, things start to look better across markets and across charts. And honestly, I do like the way this is looking. I think that total 3 does have a chance to come up to this 928 billion region coming up soon. You have a supply line break here, and things to me look like they're kind of just getting started on total 3. You also have a daily trend flip, and so what I would be doing, guys, is starting to look at altcoins, because total 1 is pushing already, but total 3 looks like it still could have a push, and it's so far just gearing up to get there. And so looking at a couple altcoins, we looked at ETH, Sol, Fartcoin. Let's look at something like ENA. So ENA, this is a coin I am quite interested in, because this is putting in what looks like a daily double bottom here. And I really like to see that. And you're sitting at pretty big higher time frame support and resistance from last summer. The value area lows right below you. You've got an 886 here. I do think this could start to push up. And then if you look at the RSI as well here, guys, especially on, I believe is the 2-day. You got RSI bullish divergence on the 2-day. Let's see if you have it on higher time frames. Potentially have it on the 3-day time frame. I doubt you have it on the weekly. Nothing on the weekly. 5-day. Nothing on the 5-day. So up to the 3-day potentially, you have bullish divergence here on ENA, which to me looks pretty good. I think this thing probably gets a pop back up soon. I mean, this is the kind of chart where the idea of, buy low, sell high really comes into play. Because here, you wouldn't really be wanting to buy ENA at these levels above $1. I mean, that's where we were selling, remember, whenever I was letting you guys know I was buying ENA back in October 24. But at current prices, I think it's time to start layering in this thing again, potentially. If you wanted to be fully, sure and a little bit more risk adverse to trying to get into something like this, I would be watching for something like this first, for a flip of this 3-day order block. This is a really very clear support and resistance zone. If you get a flip here, then you could potentially see higher prices. So I'd be looking for something like that. All right, and then I know there's this it's really funny, guys. I get this one guy in my comment section all the time that wants me to look at Sui, and he's always like, dude, why don't you look at Sui? Why do you hate Sui? Well, for you out there that wants me to look at Sui, this one's for you, bro. Looking at Sui here, I actually am starting to very much like the way this is starting to shape up. To me, personally, this thing potentially has put in a short-term bottom, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Sui at least get a run up. And so Sui coming down and hitting this previous all-time high area of March of 2024, and even coming down to tap at least around these lows from let's say March of 2024 was previous all-time highs. October of 2024 were the lows that just got tapped here on Sui. I do think this thing has the chance to continue to push higher, and I would be looking at a couple regions. I'd be looking at this daily level at 2.77 for potential rejection. But then other than that, I do think this thing has a chance to potentially push higher, guys. You're flipping the point of control right now, which looks really good. And so coming up to your value area low at 3.62, it really wouldn't surprise me that much. So I would really keep my eye on Sui because this one looks like it's pretty damn bullish. I can at least see this coming up to 2.77. Another one that I really like as of late is Hyperliquid, guys. So Hyperliquid is starting to flip some important resistance regions. I would be looking at Hype really like anywhere where you see this daily order block and support resistance zone. Anywhere above like 15 bucks to me still looks pretty good. And so as long as Hyperliquid is holding above about $15, I am going to be quite bullish on it. And it's pretty simple to me, guys. You are getting further away from daily trend here. So if you come down, get a bounce off of that daily trend and pretty much get a tap of this order block here, that would be a good area in my opinion to start loading up if you miss the Hyperliquid train around like 15.8 or so. And what I would be doing is just setting an alert at that level so you can see what the broader market is doing if you do get a pullback on Hype. And then last two we're going to look at today, guys, are some meme coins here. I got Pepe the Frog for you all. The reason I really like Pepe here, guys, is you do have a higher time frame SR area here on Pepe that you're getting a nice bounce off of. And then if you look at Pepe BTC here, guys, this thing is looking quite good. And so I drew this on my Twitter. If you guys are following me on my Twitter, it's at NeilAurora16. I'll put it right here. But this thing looks like it wants to get a push up to this POC and potentially even up to this value area high. So those are areas I'm looking at Pepe. And then lastly, guys, BONK is a coin that I am really liking what I'm seeing on this chart. This thing has come up to higher time frame support from January 2024 that you are getting a nice accumulation period here. And so here on BONK, you can really see that this coin is starting to get accumulation between the support zone. And if BONK really bust on through 0.14, I could see this getting a substantial move, guys. Am I saying you get a move like this on BONK, 248%? I'm probably going to say no. I think the days of meme coins running that hard are probably over. But I do think on BONK, getting at least a pop up somewhere in this region, maybe getting a higher low, and then even something like that wouldn't surprise me, but at least like some sort of pop-up coming up to at least 246 over time, I could see that happen. And so that's pretty much my thoughts on BONK. That is my thoughts on the crypto markets in general, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video today. Thank you for watching and sticking around to watch the whole video with me. If you guys did stay till the end, I want you to put in the comment section below pump, because we have a mega pump in the markets, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it just as much as I have. Alright guys, so this is Trader Neil signing out. Thanks for staying for the whole video, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Peace.